Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswati Namaha. Om Namo Gurubhyaha. Shri Medha Dakshinamurti Swamine Namaha. So these two prayers for the Gita Dhyanam, I will say it myself and then we can start with Sahanavut. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Puranamunina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamrita Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambattvamanu Sandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Sthunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadaihi Kayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyana Vastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam Navidusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So we started the last session with Arjuna's question, which is the verse number 36. And it's a very pertinent question. I'm just reading it one more time. Arjuna Uvacha Athakena prayuktoyam papam charati purushah anichanapi varshneya baladiva niyojitah. And this is the third chapter, verse 36. Yeah. So this translation goes, Hey Varshneya, Hey Krishna, and impelled by what? Impelled or compelled by what does a person commit papa? Everyone knows what is papa, right? So, as though pushed by some force, even though not desiring to. So, there's so much understanding which has happened in everyone's mind with so much verses we covered in Gita. Even otherwise, we all have some experience of, not having to do something, but then having the force, like mechanically, we just do that. Spontaneously, we get angry, or spontaneously, we get upset, and those kinds of things. So Arjuna is asking, why is there so much of a spontaneity? What is happening? And why even to do all the good things, there's so much deliberation? So this kind of a question Arjuna is asking. Mainly asking, why would people still be forced, as though they are forced to do something wrong? That is the question. Now, yeah, we just read the verse. Yeah, we read the verse, and then we'll see the details. Very beautiful verse. So Bhagavan is answering, and Bhagavan is Bhagavan, and when he says, I'm going to answer this, then everyone has to be all ears to hear what Bhagavan has to say about this. And because, see, Bhagavan, the Shabda Bhaga in Bhagavan means sixfold virtues. Aishwaryascha samagrascha dharmascha yashashriyah vairagyasyata mokshasya shanna bhagaiti rate. Very important verse. Bhaga means sixfold virtues. Aishwarya. Aishwarya means total overlordship. He is in total control. Coronavirus was affecting so much, and youngsters were asking the question that why Bhagavan is doing this, and my answer was, it is a human error. Bhagavan has given us the free will. Our people, scientists, and maybe the wet market in Wuhan, China, wherever it started, there was an abuse of free will, some way or the other, maybe a mistake also, not a deliberate mistake. Somehow this thing got out of control, but over time, Bhagavan will have total control. Any situation, Bhagavan over time will have the control. He will have the final say. We have been seeing this. We had a big problem in Kashmir. Now it looks like it is over time, it is subsiding. We had a big problem in ISIS and all that things. Now we were thinking, what is going to happen to the world over time? it is in control. This virus also, now it is in a better control. Even India has produced some vaccination. Every country is now competing for their to promote their vaccine. So this means there is some control, right? So this is Bhagavan's Aishwarya. This Bhagavan is in total control. Then Aishwarya is Dharma. He's all, Bhagavan is, is all Dharma. It is, so Dharma is the rule book with which Bhagavan operates. But that doesn't mean that Bhagavan is bound by the Dharma only. He will go out of way to even plus the devotees. भगवान का पास पूरा धर्म का पूरा जानकारी है, फिर भी भगवान धर्म का बाहर भी जाके कृपा से भी किसी को कुछ कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि भगवान ऐश्वर्यवान है. He is in total control. Even if he goes out of the way, he knows how to put things back in control. Then Bhagwan is also Shriya Vairagya. See, when you have so much Aishwarya, so much Shriya, so much wealth if you have, you should also have there are a lot of wealthy people, they don't give. Why? Because they don't have the Vairagya. The Bhagavan has got all the wealth and he is also totally dispassionate about the wealth. So anybody, Shivaji ka dekhiye, he will be himself wearing a chamra of elephant, a dead elephant or something, but he will be sitting on the heap of gold. Meru Parvat mein baithenge, pura heap of gold, but he himself is beyond all that. Anybody comes and takes something, he doesn't care. That is Bhagavan. So all these 6 qualities are there. Why I am describing all this? Then moksha also. Bhagavan is totally free. Now he is free and he can make you free also. That is Bhagavan. Any difficulty, any sense of bondage, any sense of pain, Bhagavan can release you from that without much of an effort. So why I am telling you all this is, this Bhagavan Shabda, sometimes it is misused. I have seen even some person who may call himself a saint, attaching the word Bhagavan before him. Right? So if you have the word Bhagavan before you, then you should be an Aishwaryavan, you should be in total control, you should not have a heart attack and die suddenly. And then you should also have a control, you should have all the wealth in your control. You should not go and ask, मैं Bhagavan ये हूँ करके बोल के, you should not go with a receipt telling, ask me, donate to my ashram, donate to my this. ये करते हैं ना लोग, बोलते हैं हम ये अवतार है करके, और वो लेके जाते हैं, सब्सक्राइब करो मेरा ये प्रोग्राम है वो प्रोग्राम है करके दोनों करते हैं. तो this is a very good clarity for all of us that Bhagavan cannot do all these things. So we don't have to be confused about that. So this Bhagavan, when he is speaking, there's one more shloka how Bhagavan is in total control. He is a creator and he has got all the knowledge and he knows what is avidya also. पूरा विद्या भी है उनके पास, और जो अविद्या है वो भी जानकारी होना चाहिए. Only then you can remove avidya, right? So that much of a knowledge and everything Bhagavan has. That Bhagavan in the form of Sri Krishna here is talking to us, and this is initially they have given this, so I should cover this, although I have not even got into the shloka yet. So now let us get into the answer of Bhagavan in this shloka. Kama yesha krodha yesha Rajoguna samudbhavah Mahashano mahapapma Vidhyena miha vairinam. The vairi word means enemy. ऐसा है गुजरात में वैरी वर्ड है एनिमी के लिए, हिंदी में वैरी है ना, वैरी, हाँ, वकार बकार they can be altered. So Bhagavan, what he said, he said, I'll just rearrange the words to make a sentence out of this in Sanskrit and then I'll translate. He's saying Rajoguna samudbhavah yeshah. This word Rajoguna samudbhavah, in the last word in the first line, I'm just putting in the first to make a nice sentence. Rajoguna samudbhavah yeshah. What are those? Kamaha, yeshah, krodha. Then mahashanaha. We'll see all the meaning. Mahapapma, because Arjuna's question was what? What is that which is pushing everybody towards papa, towards doing papa? Then bhavati. Bhavati is not there in the word, in the sentence. I'm just adding. Yenam iha vairinam vidhi. Know this to be the vairi. The translation is, Bhagavan said, this desire, this anger, born of the guna, rajas, by something called rajas guna, is a glutton. Glutton means mahashana hai. वो जितना भी दो बस नहीं बोलते हैं, desires like that, glutton, and a great sinner, mahapapma. Know that to be the enemy here in this world. So Bhagavan is answering Arjuna's question. What is the enemy? What is Arjuna's question was not what is the enemy. What is the cause for people getting into doing sin? And Bhagavan is not blaming the person. Bhagavan is blaming his the binding desires which is pushing him, and those desires can be good and bad. We don't bring in the good desires here, and then we don't want to just say bad desires also. What we want to say, binding desires are those extreme likes and dislikes, extreme sense of pleasing and displeasing, which is pushing people. Then he doesn't care. He would go and commit it, right? That is what Bhagavan is saying. That is the word desire here. And Arjuna is a very straightforward person, and he wanted to ask not to find fault with someone else. Why would Arjuna ask? He wants to ask so that he can correct himself. Arjuna's bhava that is a sadhaka's bhava. Any seeker would I want to know so that I can be better. That should be the attitude. So that is Arjuna's thing. Here, and this is a very big problem. A person can be in coat and suit and everything, and he can be all good and all that, but he may have one habit like some drinking or something, alcohol, and he'll be on the street. The same coat, tie and everything, he'll be lying on the street. So one thing is enough to destroy the personality, and Bhagavan is pointing that towards the kama, which we're going to explain, desire. One Swamiji was there, and he was a very good Swamiji, and he had a responsibility of taking care of so many children in the train to take them to some camp or something, and parents all trusted him, and he was good. And in the train, they had allocated the seats for the children very differently. आप यहाँ बैठो, तुम यहाँ बैठो करके. Then the problem is, Swamiji said, हम कैसा संभालेंगे इन लोगों को? They all have to be in the same coach so that I can take care of them. And he got angry. The Swamiji got angry. Although he got angry for a good reason, still the problem is the ticket checker is telling him, आप साधु है, आप स्वामी आप क्यों इतना गुस्सा करते हैं करके. तो अच्छा कभी हो तो गुस्सा भी थोड़ा, उसमें भी थोड़ा संयम रहना चाहिए. तो भगवान ये सब बताएंगे इसमें. अभी देखिए, in this shloka, I'm just looking at the Bhashya. Bhashya is the commentary by Shankaracharya. So the Shankara, that is not there in that book. So it is only in my book, secret book. So here, to kamaha esha sarvaloka shatruhu. So in this shloka you say the word kama, right? Bhashyakara is saying kama is sarvaloka shatruhu. कैसा इतना बड़ा भारी, how can you blame the kama for that? Shatruhu, because yannimitta sarva anartha prapti, because of which all the anartha starts. अर्था जानते हैं, इसका अर्थ क्या है हम बोलते हैं ना, इसका अर्थ क्या है, जो संस्कृत में जो लिखा है उसका अर्थ क्या है. अनर्थ मीन्स मीनिंगलेसनेस. So all meaninglessness starts once this binding sense of desire comes, not caring for what is right and wrong. Then that kama itself becomes krodha. When your desire, very binding desires, is not fulfilled, it becomes what? The parinata, the change happens. It becomes a krodha. Agree with me?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is krodha a form of kama? Does it come under the umbrella of kama, or is it a different emotion altogether?
Good question. Although they say kam, krodh, madhu, lobh, matsarya karke, they categorize the emotions as 6. Shad vairi, they say 6. Kam, krodh, madha, lobha, matsarya, and then one more. So 6.
Seven deadly sins.
So
From the Bible.
that is, I'm not sure. What they may have something similar also. I'm talking about this shad vairi. 6 shad means 6 vairi. So in that, kama is different from krodha as they categorize, right? But here, see, this is a technicality. We should know what is the connection. Connection is your kama only becomes krodha. Although desire, kama itself is so unassuming, as if it is not going to be. What is the problem? In eating one more Rajgara chikki. What is the problem? So it's a very simple thing. If it is not binding, it is okay. If it is binding desire, then what happens is, if you don't get that, I'm not talking about chikki, if you don't get that, what you desire so hard, so much, then it becomes as krodha. So kama changes to krodha. According to that is a technicality.
So it's interdependent.
A dependent. So kama is another form. It becomes, when the kama is not fulfilled, it becomes krodha. And also, sometimes what happens, when you have what you want, then it should not become krodha, right? Suppose then it should not become krodha. I am adding one more point here. Suppose if you just, it is not justified, but you still keep on getting what you want, then your benchmark, your level, your desire only becomes more stronger. And when desire becomes more stronger, even if you get the same thing, it may not help, it may not give the same satisfaction. That difference also can create krodha. Disappointment, frustration, upset, all these words you can use. So these are two ways kama can become krodha. So Bhagavan is very pinpointedly saying, Rajana, you focus on these two areas. Bhagavan is very nicely saying you focus on these two areas. And then, see, let me see what else is here. Sayesha kamaha parihati. Ata krodha api yesha evam. Then, the word, there is also in the shloka, Rajo Guna Samudbhavaha. That word is there, right? The word is Rajo Guna. So, it's one more technicality. What is the technicality? Kama itself, it's because of Rajas. There is a three, Sattva, Rajas, Tama, they say. And Kama, they say, again, binding desires. Not the desire for me to give a class or for you to listen to the class. This is not, this is something good desire. Good ego, they say. This is good. And to help and serve and all that, that's good. But here we are talking about unjustified binding desires which are going against dharma and adharma. So that is because of our rajas, the rajoguna. And rajoguna is the one which is, pushing towards, going after these desires. Because, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So when we say that sattva is like the most basic and most down to earth desires,
Yeah.
Rajas is more kind of raja,
Yeah.
kingly, more kingly desires, but they don't hurt us a lot. But
Yeah.
tamas is
Yeah.
the hurting desires, correct?
Yeah.
So why here they have said that the rajas desires
Yeah.
can cause this and not tamas?
Right. So rajas would include, it's an umbrella now. So rajas would also include tamas, but here we are talking about those binding desires which you are going after, right? So for that binding desires, again, as you said, the king should have some rajas to perform and all that. But one thing when we are discussing technically, we should appreciate the fact this rajas is without, if it is without the sattva, then the backing knowledge is not there. So when the rajas is without backed up with the knowledge, then we only go like a wild animal, trying to fulfill our desires, right? So that backing is not there. So only rajas, if you take pure rajas, is what is the problem. So you see what I'm saying? So, and tamas here we are talking about this. People here, this chapter is called Karma Yoga. So it's about action. So we're not bringing in tamas right now. Tamas is also a problem. But at the same time, we need tamas also. When the night, if you want to have good sleep, you need tamas. If you're so active in the night also, no sleep, no energy, you would even skip your meal, but you want a good sleep, right? So that is tamas is also required, but we're not bringing in tamas here because we're talking about action, right actions, and how to not be affected by those actions, but still keep performing those actions. So it's all about activity. So for activity, to do activity, desire is one cause. But the desire, when it is purely from rajas, it's a problem. When it is having the sattva backing, it is great. So that difference is there. So that is how rajas without sattva is causing this kama. And one other way we can say is, this kama also produces more rajas. Once the desire is there, binding desire is there, you are somehow, some energy comes to you to go and achieve it, and God bless, if you achieve it, it's good, but anything बीच में कुछ आ जाएगा तो क्यों मना कर रहे हैं? Why you are saying no? Right? Why not this? You may think, this is then that block will create krodha. So that desire, and then desire creates some rajas. So rajas can be the cause, and rajas can be the effect also. That way, rajas can be the cause, rajas can be. But the problem is, rajas not backed by sattva. So we don't have to worry about our rajas. We just have to keep backing it up with the right knowledge. Then slowly it will start working. Because now what you're trying, only you're doing now is, you're trying to back it up with right knowledge. You want to go back and do what you want to do, but you're trying to back it up with right knowledge. So that makes all the difference. Okay. So then this is the case. And in experience also we see someone saying, people, person, who's serving somebody, who's doing hard work and all that. Abhi itna log kaam kar rahe hain, and they're all doing excellent job and sincerely they're doing. But if you but are they happy? The question is, they may not be. And what would be their feeling? I have to do this, and I have to do this because I have so much I need, right? There's so much needs. I have to do this, and that kind of they are feeling as if they are pushed.
Like the people say, the 9 to 5 corporate job is like
killing me. Monday, thank God it's Friday, and Monday morning blues, sorry, that's the right word, blues and all that, right? So all these things itself shows that there is a force, and that force is more like rajas, that kind of a longing, that kind of a hankering that is there, right? So that is only Bhagavan is concerned about. Bhagavan is not concerned about if you want to do a PhD, Bhagavan is not concerned about that desire. He says the good desire. If you want to achieve, if you want to grow more in your profession, Bhagavan is not worried about that desire. Bhagavan is okay with that. He's fine with that. He's only worried about those desires which can become krodha if it doesn't get fulfilled. Those kinds of desires Bhagavan wants us to focus on. And then because, see, Mahashanaha, the word is there, right? The sloka Mahashanaha, it's like a fire, however much you feed, it doesn't say enough. Fire never says enough. More fuel you feed, more it doesn't say enough, right? So that kind of a maha, it just keeps gobbling, but it will never say enough. So there's no point in trying to see, how to, fulfill all my desires in this world. That's not going to serve the purpose. So we have to make it, we have to justify our desires. We have to be very objective about our desires. Then it works. And then also it is called Mahapapma. Arjuna's question was, what was the papa? Bhagavan says, papa is, the kama krodha is the one because of which people they are pushed towards doing something against the dharma. And so the papa, they are the mahapapa. Because see, महापाप एक तो पाप होता है, ये महापाप क्यों बोल रहे हैं? क्योंकि जब क्रोध होता है, अपने को पहले जलाता है ना? जहाँ उत्पन्न हो रहा है, wherever the krodha, anger starts, anger is nothing but a modified form of binding desires we saw. जहाँ उत्पन्न हो रहा है, पहले उसको जलाता है, उसके बाद दूसरों को जलाता है. Am I right? So that is how powerful this, you will have an immediate effect. That is why it's called Mahapapa. It's got an all-round effect on us. Right away you feel, I did something wrong, I said something wrong. That is why it's called a Mahapapa. And then we cannot blame someone else also. So, if it is not sleeping with her, the beach to hai yahan. We cannot say the nimitta is outside. हमारा पक्ष सब ठीक है, दूसरों का उसका गलती करके we cannot even, as a sadhaka we cannot say that. As a spiritual seeker we have to always see how I can make this situation better for myself. That should be your attitude. If you blame already someone else, then what happens is your scope for growth, you're not working on it to grow yourself to face any situation in your life. So इसलिए जब भी only when it is sleeping inside, it comes out awake. So it's not that it is not there. Everyone has to work on that, right? So with that, we'll complete this shloka, and we'll go to the next shloka. See, this kama krodha, another beautiful example. People say, I'm in love with someone, and that means it's kama is there. Good. Somebody is liking somebody, that's good. At least one problem is fixed in his life, right? So that's good. But then if that person doesn't reciprocate the same love, it becomes krodha. And they've gone to the extent of throwing acid, stabbing, whatnot. So see how kama can become krodha. Good example, right? So yeah, reduce it, please. Sorry. You can even, yeah. Now, with this nice discussion we had, she made the discussion more lively with all the questions. So we'll go to the next shloka. So next shloka, Bhagavan is continuing. So Bhagavan, what is he continuing? Beautiful examples are coming. So all your attention you have been given is rewarded with nice examples. Okay? So what is the example? Look at this. Drishtanta hai. इनका पहचान कैसा है? How to recognize all this? So the examples are given. And there are three examples given, just to make us feel comfortable in understanding. And this shloka is only about examples. I'll read the shloka. Dhume navrite vanhihi. Dhume na avrite avriyate vanhihi. Yeah. Dhumena avriyate vanhi. Then next one. Yatha darsho malena cha. Yathol benavruto garbha. Good. Tathatene damavrutam. Yatha means just like. Dhumena vanhi avriyate. We'll see all that nice meanings. Adarshaha cha malinaha cha maline malena avriyate. Adarsha means mirror. And malina means the dust. And then the third example is Yatha garbha ulbena. How the garbha is covered by the womb. Baby fetus is covered by the womb. Likewise, tata idam tena avritam. Now I'll read the translation. Just as the fire is covered by clouds of smoke, just as a mirror is covered by dust, and just as a fetus is covered by the womb, so too that knowledge, whatever little knowledge we have, is covered by our blinding desires. Not just desires, blinding desires. So, and that is the example. Look at the example, so beautiful example. Dhumena, we always see this in a wood of when there's fire in the wood also, and it becomes very smoky. There'll be fire inside the wood. It'll be hot to touch. If you mistake just there is smoke and it's not fire, it'll be even burned. But the shining, beautiful fire gets easily covered by its own smoke. Havan mein bhi hota hai. Shuru mein there'll be so much smoke. You may not see the fire, but the fire is there. Smoke, and the fire is all light, right? And the smoke is all darkness, gloominess. Avran. The opposite. They both are so opposite. That is how opposite jnana and our binding desires because of ajnana. Ajnan-based desires are so opposite to jnana. You'll be shining with knowledge, smiling. Suddenly something has to happen, all knowledge gone. So then, what is the other example is given is Yatha Adarshaha. Beautiful. Mirror. If you cannot use a mirror which is not clean, first you wipe the mirror, right, and make it clean. And then you can see what it is. So mirror can also be covered by that doesn't mean mirror as there is some fault with the mirror. There's some fault with What is covering? Right? Mirror is always what it is. Likewise, we are always what we are. Very good, very goodness is there, humanness is there, everything, but can be covered so easily. Then third example is Ulbhena, like the fetus is covered by the garbha. It is there inside, but it's covered. So Avritah, Achaditah, Garbha, Tatha, Tena idam Avritam. Likewise, Tena, by the Kama. Tena means it's a Tritiya Vibhakti. By what? Tena means by what? By Kama. Avritam Jnanam. Our knowledge is covered by that. Then we are not in control. Once our knowledge is covered, then we are not in control. Why? Because our knowledge has got our experience. The same situation, we should not react when it comes again and all that. That experience is there, everything is there. But covering हो गया तो क्या काम करे? क्या काम के लिए वो knowledge, right? That is how it is happens. So just as now we saw the translation also, because these three types of examples are given to beautifully say sometimes it is so covering we don't know ourselves, we'll lose ourselves. Sometimes it's so covering, our binding desires are so covering, the world is no more as it used to be for us. Right? So covering yourself is like the fetus. You are covered, yourself is covered by this your own binding desires. Then the next example, the world can be covered. What to talk about? World, even Paramatma, Bhagavan, who is all powerful, he can be also covered. Just like the light can be, the light of the fire can be covered by smoke. Bhagavan is all light, he is all knowledge, he is all shining. That Bhagavan, Paramatma also can be covered by this simple thing called our binding desires. We have to work on that, right? Not that we should not give up desires. My dear devotees of Bhagavan, it is not about giving up desires. So when you have a headache, then you cannot say, the problem is your head. Give up the head, no. Right? So we have to work on that and make it our own. Make it work for us. So we going by that desires, that the desires subserve us. That is the attitude we should have. It's not about giving up something right now. So after this example, we'll continue with the next sloka. Next sloka. So next sloka, let us see what is there, what is the topic. Now, beautiful thing, Bhagavan is going into the depth. Then Bhagavan, what he is saying, where does this Kama reside? Where does this Krodha reside? Where does it reside? It needs some base, right? This computer needs something. I cannot have it floating in the air. It needs some base. Likewise, this Kama and Krodha, I want to know what is the address, so I can go and attack. कहाँ बैठा है दिखा ये करके, then that is the attitude. So if I know where it is, then I can go and address the problem. I should know where it is sitting. All mind is one place. All the list is given here, and simple answer. Yeah.
विवेक मतलब maturity कम होता है, that's why.
So maturity कम होता है. That is why, but even the maturity comes in the mind only. And this problem is also in the mind only. So आश्रय कहाँ है? So that is the question. Nivas, कहाँ रहता है sir? You're right. The solution is Viveka. That has to also come there only. But to come there, we should know where. That is a slow way, step by step. They are building it up. Topic. That's okay. So in leading the sloka, in Indriyani Mano Buddhihi Asyadhisthana Muchyate. This sloka number. Did we? We did skip one. Yeah. Wow.
It's the same as the earlier one.
This is a similar one. Let's see that. See, let us see that. I jumped ahead. So this sloka 39. Now in the last sloka, this idam shabdam is there. This covers the jnana. So in this sloka, what is that? It is basically going back to, it is basically our binding desires we saw. And Bhagavan is, having a sloka just to cover that, but he'll also say something more. He's saying some more adjectives. powerful adjectives against this binding desires, right? We'll see that. Because it has to हमको असर पड़ना चाहिए. हमको तो इतना चमड़ा इतना मोटा हो गया, थोड़ा कुछ और भी उसका प्रति छाप देना पड़ रहा है. इसीलिए भगवान, like the poti they give, you have to do heat and pressure, everything has to work on us. Thank God it's over. So avrutam jnanametena jnanino nitya vairina kamarupena kaunteya दुष्पूरेणा नलेन च. हाँ, तो आवरण. तो एक तो इसका नाम क्या है? नित्य वैरी. नित्य वैरिण. मैं पहले वो अन्वय कर देता हूँ. अन्वय माने रीअरेंज द वर्ड्स. हे कौंतेय, भगवान इज एड्रेसिंग अर्जुन एज कौंतेय. क्यों कौंतेय? कुंती का पुत्र है, इसीलिए कौंतेय. अब तो महाभारत याद आया होगा. महाभारत में सब all this we hear, nice words we hear. हे भारत, हे कौंतेय, हे आर्यपुत्र है. ऐसा करते हैं. तो कुंती का पुत्र है. ज्ञानिनः, even for the ज्ञानीस नित्य वैरिणा. समथिंग इज नित्य वैरी. वैरी का शब्द आप अर्थ समझ गए. अभी नित्य वैरी करके बुला रहे हैं उसको. नित्य वैरिणा दुष्पूरेण अनलेन च कामरूपेण एतेन ज्ञानम आवृतम. So kamarupena, this whatever is called whatever was told in the previous shloka, very elaborately told, this kamarupa which has got this and this and this characteristic, this is what is covering the knowledge. Because knowledge, it is covering the knowledge. That knowledge I have been telling, it is not told in the previous shloka. Here Bhagavan is saying clearly this is covering the knowledge. Now what we want to see is, let us see the word nitya vairi. ये नित्य वैरी तो ठीक है. ये काम को, बाइंडिंग डिजायर्स को क्यों नित्य वैरी कहते हैं? क्योंकि if someone is a knowledgeable person, right? So that means he knows what is right and what is wrong in a given situation. We cannot know in all situations. In some areas where he is having some experience, he knows. But when his binding desires carries him away, when he is being swayed by his desires, then what happens is, even before that, his memory will serve him. नहीं पूर्व में थोड़ा इसको खतरनाक है. If I this is not my area. This is not my area. This is say someone is in there's a servant, and then there's a owner and all. The Malik is there. And then Malik is trusting him and all that. And suppose the owner has a daughter, right? Suppose the Raja has a daughter, and then there's a servant. And when the Raja trusts him so much, he cannot try to entice her and all that, right? He cannot try to he should be having some control. So even before the desire comes, he can bring that. This is not right. So this is how the jnani would work. This is not right. Because of my problem, because this is not right, it may look so attractive, but this is not right to do. This is something I may like, but it is not dharma. So he will try to restrain himself from perceiving his like, right? And he knows, if I pursue this also, and even if I accomplish this, that is the end of me, right? So आगे से वो काम करता है उसका ऊपर. And he knows before and after, this is only going to lead to problem. तो पूर्व और पर दोनों तरह से ये जो binding desire थोड़ा, it can shake me off. It can even take away my job. It can even it can even it can take away everything from me. So ऐसा सोच के he knows this is dukkha roopam eva beginning. So that way it is a nitya vairi. You have to be aware. You have to have a stance towards that, some alertness, not some ninja stance. ऐसा नहीं है कि you should always be like a Zen monk or somebody, like not smiling and all. ऐसा नहीं कह रहे हम. थोड़ा alertness होना चाहिए. तो इसीलिए alertness नहीं होने से नित्य वैरी होने के कारण से it will take over any time. That is why the word nitya vairi is spoken. And also nitya vairi इसीलिए भी कह रहे हैं, even for this reason nitya vairi, because suppose somebody is an ajnani, he would think he would try to revel in that desire. And he will take to, he'll travel in the desire. And he will think, come what may come later. Let me go and accomplish this. Let me go and achieve this. I can do it only now. He will take the desire to be his friend. He will become a friend of the desire, and he will try to be subservient to the desire. So he will not see it as a vairi. He will not see it as a vairi, as an enemy. Whereas a jnani, because of his experience, he can little bit see it as a vairi. So for a jnani, it is a nitya vairi. If you have some jnana, thoda kuch jnana हमारे पास है तो हम ऐसा we should consider this binding desire, this unjustified likes and dislikes as our starting point of trouble, starting point of problem. Like that we can do that. That is why the word nitya vairi. And the nitya vairi is kama rupena. This kama हम इतना बार पढ़ते हैं हम. काम का एक रूप होता है. It will have a form. What is the form? उसका फॉर्म है इच्छा. इच्छा of, इच्छा का the form of kama is in terms of our likes, our binding likes, unjustified likes, adharmic likes. So that is the form of kama, and because we need to know the rupa. See, you should simplify the entire Gita as Gita is something which is preparing you by helping you to manage your likes and dislikes, so they fall in line with right and wrong. So what you, as I was telling yesterday, what you like should become what is right. What you dislike should become match with what you don't like. Then no problem. So Gita is only training you towards that initially, most of the places. Then afterwards, the knowledge about yourself as Paramatma, Bhagavad Swarup hai, Atma Swarup ये सब अपने आप काम करता है. The knowledge will work on its own. Once you have this preparation of mind in terms of your likes and dislikes. So this is a form, Kama Kaunteya, दुष्पूरेण, उसको पूर्ण करने में बहुत तकलीफ. You have to work your whole life. Just like that person who was a very happy person. And then the king said, he's a very happy person. He's very simple and he's very happy. And the minister said, don't assume like that. He's happy because he doesn't. He's also a little hopeless also. He looks like he's happy, but you just have to do something, and that will disturb his peace of mind. Then, as an example, what he did, he put some gold or something.
99 coins of gold.
Huh?
99 coins of gold.
So 99. Let's take that. Let's pick that. Yeah. So he put some 99 gold coins in his somewhere, and he counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 99. He was so happy. So he thought he was happy before, but now only he was really happy. But he said that one gold coin is not there. He wants to make it 100. So from next day onwards, whenever he comes and serves the king, his mind is always lost. King sir, what happened to you? Where is your presence of mind? Why do you make this mistake? What is happening in your mind? And then he didn't even say. But then later on, the king found out. He was worried about how to jitna kamane se I can get that one piece of gold and make it. So what I'm trying to say is this is endless. Fulfilling all the desires is going to be endless pursuit. And then analena, because it's anal. Analena means like fire. जैसा हमने पहले देखा. Alam नहीं बोलते, बस नहीं बोलते. This, so that is anala word there. Okay. So now we'll go to the next shloka, which I was waiting, and we'll complete with this shloka maybe. All right? Are you all okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So here next shloka I already gave out. What is this about? That ashraya, uska sthan, nivas kahan hai? Karke we want to pinpoint it. So we didn't do the shloka. We'll do the shloka. Indriyani mano buddhihi asyadhisthana muchyate etair विमोहयत्येषः ज्ञानमावृत्य देहिनम्. So I'm rearranging the words. Asya indriyani are the senses, manaha, mind, buddhihi. Manaha is mind and buddhi is intellect. Adhishtanam uchyate. That is a nivasthan. These three. We'll see the details. Yeshaha kamaha etaihi. With the help of this, support of these three, Yeshaha taihi jnanam avritya, covering the knowledge, ढका देहिनम विमोहयति. ये हम जीव को मोह में डाल देता है, मोह में दबा देता है. मोह, everything will see, all the word, okay? So in translation, its location, Kama and Krodha's location is said to be the senses, mind and intellect. With the help of these, above three, Kama deludes the person. It deludes the person by covering his or her wisdom. Okay? So like the horses, these are our horses and our Indriya, mind and all that, they are like our horses. You ride them, you can have control over them if they are in your hands. But if Kama and Krodha sits there, they have the control, that's it. They can go in any direction, right? So that kind of a thing. They are sitting there and they are controlling it. They are, वो आश्रय लेता है. They don't have a place.
But didn't when Krishna had the desire, right?
Yeah.
To win the battle,
Yeah.
or for
Yeah.
Arjuna to
Yeah.
So
You're right. So
they are not free from desires.
absolutely right. A good example. Yeah, Swamiji Dayananji also says that example. That is why we have to distinguish between the binding desires and the likes and dislikes which are matching with dharma and adharma. Krishna wanted Arjuna to win. He liked Arjuna to win. He had the desire because that is the right thing. So that kind of matching. So we have to have that matching, that our likes should match with what is right. And so you see what I'm saying? So it's a process, it is a growing clarity, it's a growing process where we are trying to manage our likes and dislikes. We're not saying no likes and dislikes, okay? We are trying to see how to manage them. Atyanta ragadvesha nivritti, that is not what we are talking about. Then we will be like any other stone. This chair doesn't have any like and dislike. If it has a like, it will say, you are so many kilos, you have been sitting on me so long, give me a break, right? So if you don't have no likes and dislikes, means becoming like a inert person, right? We are not talking about that. We want to manage our likes and dislikes. We want to match it up with what is right and wrong. We want to grow in the process. We want to mature in the process. We want to have our emotions in our control. And you see, that is the process we are talking about. All right? That now it's making more sense, right? So here, and so this is the Indriya Mana Buddhihi, and now, yeah, because of this Kama sitting there, what the Indriya says, हमको अमुक वस्तु देखना है, I want to see this, I cannot be without seeing my cell phone every 2 minutes, every 5 minutes, every beep. When I'm preparing for the class, these beeps are enough to disturb me several times. So I have to give some break and then finish my studies and all that, right? So eyes can always, Kama can sit in your eyes and say, just take me there, let's do that and all that. And eyes have the capacity to make you happy. So, Kama's, it's all done once you just have to follow your Kama. Ears also same story. And then everything, Kama can sit everywhere and then it can drive you that side and this side. It can sit in your mind where it is already seated, and it can also drive the mind, it asks the mind to do this and that and all that. Already there'll be a plan. After going back, क्या करना है? अच्छा काम भी हो सकता है. A lot of things we have to accomplish. But then along with that, some good, क्या है बोलना है? पाव भाजी खाना है. Look at her. So, look, everybody is so happy when you talk about the food which you're missing so bad. Butter mein dip kar. Tawa mein butter lagta. So this is also there, right? So it can sit in the mind and it can take us there and all that. So this is the sthana, nivas, residence of the address where you can send a courier and it can reach there. That is the address for Kama. So Kama is residing there, right? So, and anything else about this great thing? And look at it. When it resides, देखिए बहुत बढ़िया चीज़ है. When it resides there, what it does, it takes the help of your देखिए, suppose a servant is there. Servant का आश्रय कौन है? मालिक है. Set, Malik is the Ashraya, the owner or the Malik or the boss is the Ashraya. Servant goes and serves the boss because boss is giving him everything. He's giving him salary, he's giving him all compliments and all that. So he's serving the boss. But is he really, his mind is it really in serving the boss? It is actually in serving his family. Right? His mind is about serving his family. It's not about serving the boss, really speaking. It's about serving his family, making, taking back. So his whole mind is more about the family than the boss in reality, right? So likewise, this Kama can be sitting along with the boss, which are the mind and the Indriya. These are all the bosses. They are real. Kama is just, it's just a thought. What is thought compared to, all these real things like your mind and senses and all that, right? But the thought seated there, like this servant is sitting with the boss and pressing his leg and making him happy all the time, but always serving his family and all that, right? Swindle, even if possible, he can even swindle something, he can be the corrupt and he can do that. Likewise, this Kama is as though it is, I'm here to serve you, my dear senses. I'm here to bring whatever you like, but all these things are sitting there, but it's only serving its own purpose. It's not serving you. At least we can say it's not serving us, just like. And that is why they say, the saying also, Kam or Ram. मन में Kam का जगह पे Ram लेके आओ. मतलब bring in something which can serve you. Not about Ram or Krishna or Shiva. It is about bringing in something which can make you more see yourself. What am I really, and am I going in the right direction? So Kam won't do that job for you. Kam will tell you everything is fine. Ice cream at 2 o'clock in the midnight is fine. That is what. So that is So now we know what is the residence place. Now we know what is the residence place of. Now, after we know the residence place, we're not going to go further today. And so what is the next sloka? We'll just read and then see the translation and stop right. Tasmat means therefore. So Bhagavan is saying therefore. So after showing the residence place, he's showing how to go about that. So that is a tasmat. So I'll read the sloka. Tasmat tvamindriyan yadau. Good, you're catching up so well with this verses. Niyamya bharata rishabha papmanam prajahi hyenam jnana vijnana nashanam. Therefore, Arjuna, the foremost in the clan of Bharata, one of the most popular Bharata, the clan of Bharata, controlling the senses at the outset. So instead of working on the desire and all that, where it is coming from and all that, just work on the senses. How do you work on the senses? You just put it in the right place. If there is an option between satsang and party, if you can skip the satsang, if you can skip the party, sorry. So just, if you had had enough of the party, then for a change, put your mind and senses, which is the ashraya for the Kama, put it in the right place. So that is the kind of control. Control means you should understand what is control. Take it to the right, feed it with the right food. When there is no food for thought, then you can go and seek food for your senses and all that. Like that kind of a attitude. That will do what? Destroy indeed the sinner, the destroyer of knowledge and wisdom. I'll read one more time. Controlling the senses, as I mentioned at the outset, destroy indeed this sinner, which you have been seeing, this sinner, the destroyer of knowledge, because it's a destroyer of knowledge and wisdom. So this shloka we'll take care of later classes. I'll just do a Purnamada and then we can talk. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.